All right. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? I am going to use the Magdalene Oracle here. I have been doing a lot. Oh, there's Magdalene. I've been doing a lot of work around that. The Magdalene. I have plans to do some channeling of Mary pretty soon. We'll see if it comes through in this reading this morning. So let's see where we go. All right, my darling. So maybe we'll talk about that in the Ascension program today at 3:30. We'll talk a little bit about historical Magdalene and the true message of Jesus and all kinds of amazing things. So I hope you're in that group. You guys are incredible. Miracles. Miracles. Yes. The judgment. All right, we'll see where that goes. God. Very interesting. I haven't gotten those cards. Sophia is also here, which is a beautiful card. So I'll talk more about those a little bit later. Let's see. This is the Mythic Tarot, appropriate for this reading. I have planned to talk a lot about in the Ascension group about ancestral healing. So that's something I'll also talk about today. Give you some tools. That's what we're really looking to do in that Ascension group. Accelerate your ascension. Align yourself, masculine and feminine, appropriate to be using this today. All right, underneath the 10 of Wands. Knight of Pentacles, that comes first, and then the Fool, and then the Sun. Beautiful. Wow, 10 of Cups, that's shown up a couple times, okay? Look at that, my goodness. Okay, so there's an ending to this kind of grind. I think when a lot of people are really focused on their external, we talk about this in the Twin Flame readings all the time, about paying attention to what's in the physical world, the material world, as opposed to the spiritual world, is something that is going to bring a lot of it's sort of like you're pegging your happiness on things that aren't really designed to bring you happiness. They're designed to alleviate suffering or bring suffering or things like that. It's about lessons and all of that. Really, the spiritual nature, and this is very much the Magdalene, Mary Magdalene's message, an interpretation of Jesus's message, is about the spiritual nature of your life or your connection to spirit is the thing that brings everlasting peace, everlasting joy. The Fool, the Sun, the 10 of Cups, definitely kind of in line with this. We're really moving on from the materialism. It's like, okay, I can't go any further. The Knight of Pentacles is a really slow moving energy. The 10 of Wands is virtually stopped. So at some point, whatever is giving you problems or making you feel or having you feel like you're not keeping up, you're not successful, you're not, you probably are. You probably are a successful person. And if you are feeling like parts of your life aren't working, the internal piece of you is where to go. Okay. And that's where the happiness resides, regardless of what kind of is external to you. That's always been a message that I have been paying attention to. Ooh, look at this. Ace of Wands, the World. My. 6 of Wands. Wow. 4 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and the Temperance card. This is about the, there's alchemical references with the Temperance card, meaning I'm turning, it's like I'm turning base metals into gold. I'm doing all kinds of change or transformation, changing how I'm looking at material pieces of my life, right? Having a lot of gratitude for what I do have, and really I'm not a successful person because I have more money. There's plenty of successful people who have no money. Okay. And how do we manage or how do we measure success is something that's going to be coming under scrutiny in a big way very soon. Yep, Judgment. There's the crossroads. 9 of Wands, 8 of Cups. There's a new path. So I feel like there's this, it's coming along as an idea, all right, which is really interesting. It's very much in alignment with everything that I've been reading and paying attention to. Go watch that Twin Flame over on Souls on Fire, the Twin Flame message that I posted Monday, and that really does talk about the same kind of idea, that we really are moving in a direction where the internal becomes more the goal, the internal integration of masculine and feminine. When we talk about 3D and 5D, what we're really talking about is the material world versus the spiritual world, or versus our interconnection to spirit, and recognizing that that's really where our success lies. It's not about anything external. And hey, you can have all the money and stuff you want, but that's not how you're measuring yourself, or that's not, it's not even really a thing. It's just kind of like, hey, I got resources, so I can, maybe I can help people doing this, or maybe I can expand into this, or I have the opportunity to do da da da. Okay. And there is something about that. So this temperance angel, this Sagittarius is the energy of, it is the sum total of our beliefs, or individual beliefs that we plug ourselves into as a society. And I feel like this is kind of like we're overcoming through union, through divine union here. This could be twin flame divine union. Through that divine union in a spiritual way, maybe not even in a physical way, we're starting to see that as more important. We're starting to shift from focusing on the physical integration of masculine and feminine, and recognizing that the internal, right? This is an idea whose time has come, because the other way has been such a grind. Like, it's become so competitive, or so difficult, or so soul sucking, right? It's the soul that's the true self, not the physical or corporal body that kind of, protects this, that kind of you're wrapped in, right? This is not the real thing. The real thing is the soul. And so I feel like there's a kind of a little battle being waged. I mean, I don't know, for about 2,000 years, maybe longer than that, about what we have versus who we are. And I feel like when you kind of get to the place where you're shifting from this grind of a day of kind of a being around toxic people, or having, this external, how was your day, dear? Well, this happened and this happened and this happened. That's external stuff. What is going on inside you? The stuff that's outside of you doesn't really make a dent. I mean, it's like you're creating happiness within you. And that's really one of the whole purposes of the twin flame journey, is to help you I didn't mean this to be a twin flame reading, but since this is going on, since we have this card, right? The masculine, feminine integrated, I'm going to talk about it. And it's also the physical versus the temporal, or the physical versus the spiritual, or something like that. I don't mean to like pit them against each other, because that's not really it. Like, there's some reason, there's lessons, and there's things for us to learn in this incarnation. And when we understand that how we are measuring ourselves, or how we are experiencing happiness and joy, which is what you're here to do, when we stop allowing other people to have a reign over that, right? Have judgment over us, or anything like that. And, we just kind of exist in the world. We're just being, like, we're not kind of trying to create any kind of competition or duality, any more of that than we already have. So there is this sense of a balance between how we live our external life and how we live our internal life. I will read you that judgment one, because judgment shows up down here, which is seems kind of important, doesn't it? All right. So in the Magdalene, I don't think I've gotten that one. That's a new one to me. I haven't used this deck very much. I'll be using it a lot more. So the judgment card here is: love and accept all of who you are as who you are. Every trait serves a purpose until you see the light within you. You will not see the light in others. How you feel about the world around you is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Everything you see in others reflects something in you. You draw people, situations, and events into your life that reflect what you are here to learn, and also what you love about yourself, or what you are yet to love about yourself. As you journey through life, you grow in wisdom, and eventually you will realize that many of your perceptions of good and bad, of right and wrong, were simply illusions, which is exactly what Mary's interpretation of Jesus's message brings to the forefront, is that the illusion of all of this stuff that we're working hard to do and get and consume and be, and all of that stuff that's going to be shown to be, and I think a lot of you are already there on the spiritual path, shown to be, the trappings we got a body. We can't, we kind of can't move away from that, but we can, what we can control is how we experience it. That's what we can control. Okay? So this whole idea of, all right, yes, I have this idea as a theory or a kind of a not a real thing. It's just something we talk about. It's a discussion. It's an idea, right? But then there's something that happens here that makes it a real thing, where I do feel like in this duality, we're being asked to choose, right? We're being asked to choose how we're experiencing life. But I feel like the existence of this temperance card right here tells me that we are, sort of taking a little bit of the mystical and the spiritual nature. And that's something that's helping us behave, experience, live, reside in the world. Like we're learning how to shift from someone who's totally focused on the material world, and instead moving off of that makes this person a king. So when you totally focus on how much I got in the bank, how much, this makes me makes me better than you because I've got a better job, or whatever the material world is, I got a better lawnmower than you, like whatever it is. Okay. We're moving away from that idea of comparison, of duality, because it's crushing people's souls. And now, because we're learning that the way of doing spirituality may also have some hand in this, okay? If there's a hierarchical nature to something, there's a definitive truth about that. Hierarchy means one over the other. And so when we're kind of moving away from that idea of hierarchical experience, that's when people become kings. That's when people become kings of their own soul. And kings, queens of your own soul, or integrated masculine, feminine of your own soul, right? That's when that happens. And there's a sense of like relief and victory and repose. Like, I can live in this world now because what I'm experiencing, I see as lessons. I'm not getting hooked or caught up in things. So if you have somebody in your life who's really vexing to you or difficult or problematic, a terrible boss, a narcissistic family member, a difficult spouse or brother, sister, whatever, like that becomes background. It becomes like you're almost, I don't want to say that you're like removing yourself from it, because I don't want you to think that you're not actively participating in your life, because you are. But you're seeing it through a different lens. It's no longer that person is so awful, making me angry. How dare they do this to me? They're manipulating me, controlling me, narcissistic, la 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 la. It's sort of like noticing. It's almost like the embodiment of a walking meditation, that you're noticing these things in your life as actors on a stage, as players involved in your growth. Everybody in your life right now has signed up in some way, shape, or form before they incarnated on this planet to be an actor in your play. Now, it doesn't mean that you're the center of the universe, but you are the center of your universe, okay? And they're the center of your universe when you are connected to God, when that's when you have that awareness in you that really, that's the center of the universe. But you are kind of seeing how people and experiences are really here to help you grow. And so when you kind of remove that competition or that low vibe kind of way of experiencing relationships or expectations or experiences in any way, shape, or form, you're no longer nagged by it. Like you're no longer brought low by it. So when you come home, how was your day, dear? Wonderful. Really? I thought I heard you getting into it with your boss a little bit. Well, that was yesterday, and today I just kind of don't have that same hook in me. I'm not dealing with that anymore. It's just not a thing. I just don't care, because it's not really important to get into it the way you used to. What's important is about transmuting the lessons and turning base metal, crappy stuff happening or anything like that, into gold. And that gold is the wisdom that you're learning here on this planet. That's what takes you from bashing yourself against the rocks to a new path. That's what takes you to that new path. The Sun and the Ten of Cups. There's joy. There's compassion for people who are wanting to hook you and things like that. There's a sense of, it's almost like you can't be touched. You can't be touched in the way you were, that dragged you and sent you down a road of, abuse, right? Feeling abused or feeling that way. And instead, it's just like, that's what it means to kind of level up in your spiritual nature and also in your vibration. Like, those people still exist. That stuff still happens, but how you react to it and how you incorporate it or how you learn the lessons is just different. And that's what's happening now. So we will continue on with this reading. I will take a look at the God and the miracles here, which is really interesting to me. Thank you, Magdalene. All right, so this is a little bit of channeling Mary, I guess. We are talking about, her connection to Jesus and how she was able to see the true message, which is about not the material. It exists, but it's really about the connection of the soul. That's what it's really about. All right, let's keep going. Pathfinders. Let's keep going. If you are not a Pathfinder, there's a link in description box below. If you're a Pathfinder, let's just keep going. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.